Hello everyone. It is a fabulous day outside and I want to be outside and I want to talk about knitting because that's really all I kind of do. So you get to walk with me through my favorite part of the park. It's all nice and happy. Look at that trail. Look at my trees. Like, it's just a good walk. It's honestly my favorite part of the trail. We'll walk over to where you can sit in the shade and just be outside, talk about knitting. What to start with? I feel pretty fancy. I don't know if you listen to podcasts at all, but if you do, and you are wanting a good one, there is, alright, we might have to be a little quiet. There's workers in the park today, and looks like they're doing some cleanup. We'll try not to be in their way. Anyways, if you listen to podcasts, then you will know, hopefully, no, let me start that again. There is one you should know about called Why I Knit. And it's absolutely fabulous. It's all about therapeutic benefits to knitting, and each episode is an interview with a new person. Guess who is on there? Me, Film Per Fancy. I talk a little bit about how I got into knitting, and I just kind of go over that. Talk a little bit, tiny bit about work, kinda. It was awesome. It was fun. And I'll link that down below because why not? Everybody wants to listen to me prattle on more. That's why you're here, right? So, right, found my spot. Let's see if we can't get propped up here in a way that makes sense today. All right, this is what you get. You get to see me sit on the ground in the park. So yeah, there's the podcast. What else can I talk about? If you're in Texas anywhere, well, not anywhere. If you are in Texas, you're in this yarn store, you should go. It's called Gauge Yarn. I think I saw the card in my pocket. Let's see. I do. So they're down in Austin. There's their card. The other half was down there recently for a fancy tattoo, and I was like, there's yarn stores. You should go for me. And he obliged, like the kind fella that he is, and it was actually pretty funny. He ended up calling me FaceTime and like walking through the store and like showing me stuff. His first text was like, all right, what weight do you want? So he knows how to shop for me. Oh no, they just turned on a lawnmower, so we'll see. Might be a little too loud here. We'll still power through. So he walked through and I picked the yarns I wanted, but I could not decide which ones I wanted. I picked a handful based on color, and the ladies there, well, the employees there, they do not all identify as ladies, obviously. They helped him out. He'd flip the camera around and they'd be like, hey, it was really awesome. So anyways, let me show you the yarn I got. This one was new to me. It's Kosho. The color is Blackberry. It's not a ton of yardage. It's only 191 yards. But it's 90% wool and 10% cashmere. Look at that color. I don't know what I'll do with it yet. There's a reason he picked this one out of all the colors. At the end of it all, I was like, okay, you just pick. I've told you all the ones I like. You pick and just surprise me, and so he did. So he got this one, Blackberry. And I wish I should pick a better spot based on colors. We're not gonna get a good color on this. This is Emerald, and it is Falkland wool and mulberry silk on 875 yards. So like, so pretty. My lighting here, because I'm sitting outside, I'm in the shade, all of that, it's just not doing the shade justice. So he picks these two colors, and when he gets home that night, he got home super late. He's like, I picked these because I understand color theory. And I was dead asleep, but I cracked a chuckle up. I have been playing around with Sculpey clay, and I kept getting a bunch of colors I didn't like, and so I'd ask, what can I add to this and make it better? And it didn't matter, because once you get to brown, that's what you have, right? You have different shades of brown, but you're stuck with brown. And my kids were in the living room with me one night, and I know this. I may not be great at color theory, but I have a good enough understanding to know that once it's brown, it's brown. And I'm driving them nuts. They are just super unhappy with all of my nonsense. I'm telling them, oh, well maybe if I had this really bright color, that'll help make it all better. They're like, no, why don't you understand color theory? One of them ends up making me a color theory flip book, and then ends up getting me color theory postcards later on. So now it's become this ongoing joke in my house that I don't understand color theory. I think they all think I'm serious. Like, I think they genuinely think I don't understand the color wheel and all of that. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm playing it up a bit because it cracks me up. Oh my gosh. Like, the postcards, for instance, she'd gone on a trip with her orchestra class, and she's out buying souvenirs like they all do, you know, and she's like, oh my gosh, yes. Her friend's like, where'd you get that? And she's like, it's from my mom. She doesn't understand color theory. And I'm like, what? She texts me later that night, and she's like, I want you to know that I spent almost $20 on a present to mock you and your color abilities. So it cracked me up. I got a good chuckle out of that. I think he thinks I'm being serious. I don't know. It's entertaining nonetheless. Gosh, I really wish time this better, because that's there. But I mean, guys, come on, look at this. How could you not want to sit and be part of this? Even with that. So on to my next big thing. Oh, first, take a peek at my bag. It's dumb, or not dumb. It's dorky. It says all the feels and lace weight down to jumbo. Big, like seriously big torso size, but I love it, and it holds my current knitting, which is a little bit bulky right now. This is the Pretty in Pleats tank, and I will also put that down below. I have done some changes. The pattern has to do 1 inch of 2x2 ribbing, and I'm not a big fan of that look in general. I haven't been since probably my second project ever, so I changed it out to just basic 1x1 twisted ribbing, which I think actually looks really nice. The yarn I'm using before I go further is probably mine here. It's not, but it's DK Variations, I do believe. The color, I knew I should have brought it. I didn't bring my tag. I got three things of it, and it was kind of funny when I went to buy it. I only have one OIS near me and that's just what I have. And sometimes I wonder if the shop owner likes people, me, her job. I don't know. Sometimes she just is a little like edgy scene. And so I had the three things in my hand, and I was headed towards the front, and she's like immediately, "What are you making?" I was like, "Oh my goodness." And the only other time she's asked me that in the past was like when I first started going there, and it always kind of had this edge of, how dare you use a pattern that you don't purchase from my store. And so I'm always a little hesitant when she asks me. So I told her, and she's like, "Okay, then or how much yardage do you need?" "Okay, I think it'll be enough." Well, it turns out this particular color, and I have the same yarn in a different color, but this particular color ended up being short. They're supposed to be 100 gram skeins, and I think the biggest one I had was 97 grams. The smallest was like 93, I think. So, but it's only been this color. So I was glad she mentioned it. I made sure to get enough, but I am onto the third ball. I am starting to doubt that I have enough, because that's what we do. But it's lovely. It's a fabulous rust color. Check out my pleats here. Okay, so we have 3 left leaning and 3 right leaning. But if you take a look, my second and my third right leaning are just kind of flat compared to the ones. So we'll let the mower pass her for a second. I think I'm actually in their way based on their road here. So we're going to pack up and we're going to move a little bit. We don't want to be causing issues with their plans just because we want to see them dress. So, pack up here and we'll walk over with my big forehead there like that. Alright, so I do have that yarn in another color that is like an emerald green, and it's great, but it bleeds crazy amounts. The first time I noticed it was kind of late at night, and it had stained my hands in such a way that it almost makes the kind of staining that makes you go, "Oh my gosh, am I getting sick? Like, what's going on with my coloring here?" Like, it was not good, right? And so I was kind of hesitant on the yarn, but I really, really wanted it. I absolutely love this color and was determined to use it. Let's see. I think this will work. I really wanted to use it. So when she warned me about the shortage on it all, I also mentioned to her, well, some of the colors absolutely bleed. So there was another customer there at the time, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, yes they do." She'd had a pink color, I think, that she was using, and it was bleeding as well. So we discussed tips on how to minimize it, blah blah blah. Anyways, I go home and I cast on for this. This color does not bleed, which is fabulous. So this is a tank top, obviously pretty in pleats. It is long. I'm doing this as a knit along with a friend. You're supposed to do to like 15 inches from the hem. I shortened mine by 1 inch because this is supposed to be like right here, and sitting down, not that you can see it right now, but sitting down, this still comes to like my waist. So it'll be fun. I am worried this is the last of my ball. I should have enough because I really am almost done. But you know how it goes with knitting. Once you get to a certain point, you're just convinced that you're never going to have enough. there was a change that we had to make during the... I moved! I swear! I really just did not plan this well today. That's okay. When you decrease for under the arms, decrease like 3 and then knit across, decrease 6 or so, and then knit across and then decrease the other 3 on this side, except that leaves you with a live stitch in the middle of the underarm. So it did require a little adjusting, but it honestly wasn't too terrible. It was easy enough. And everyone seems to love it that has made it. Let's see, maybe this looks better. No better. And then, oh my gosh, maybe I should just like put music over this section or just re-record this. Alright. This won't be a long episode anyways. So my other project, which will also be a sort of knit along with a friend, is the staple linen tank by Hoey. I'm doing it in nothing like the yarn that the pattern suggests, because that's how I roll. There we go. I'm just using True Blue because the drape on it, on the sample in the store, was so nice. I did not get this one in my yarn store though. I did start it, and then I needed one needle, nabbed it off of the end of my Jimmy Beans interchangeables, which are so nice. See all those marks? Those are for measuring. Your needle tip to connection is 4 inches. Each little spot is 1 inch. Your connection is another inch, so tip to the start of your cable is 5 inches, and then all your needles are the same length. Obviously your cords are not. Anyways, I did need to restart this. I was fine taking the needle because, as you can see down here, it's kind of like my increases or whatever it was that I was doing there just don't look great on that side. They look great on this side. There's like nothing going on there. So I'll restart that one once I'm done with Pretty in Pleats, which should be any time now. Just because I'm at that point where I'm like motivated, gotta get this done because we're so close. And then I do have one more project in my bag. This one is actually an old project. Let me make sure it's the right one. Yep. Oh, hey, the label. So the rust colored yarn is Variations DK, and it is burnt amber, and it is a merino yarn. It's Australian merino. It's made in India. The skein is supposed to have 225 yards. My yarn store lady, when she was doing the math based on the amount, like she labeled them all to show you what the actual gram weight was. She said I'd be about, between the 3 skeins, like 22 yards less overall. So first I won a giveaway door prize thing for her anniversary. This is one of the bags I won, which I actually really like. I cannot tell you, I actually don't use Kitchener Stitch a whole lot, but I always end up having to look it up. So I actually really like it. I wasn't sure I would because the size is kind of clunky, but I mean, like holding it up to my iPad here, it's the same height as my iPad. So it's kind of big, but it actually works out perfectly because I have a whole ass sweater in here. This is Woolfolk. I don't remember the yarn. Definitely need to find the labels. When I say this is old, this is like 2 years in the works. And I feel awful about it because it's not actually intended for me. So look at that stitch definition. Like, this has all been reworked once already. But you can't really tell. And then look at the stitch definition on the lace. I'd actually already knit this. I have a sleeve done because it's actually done flat and then seamed. And I had the entire back piece done, and I had the sleeve done. And I went to pick it back up and realized I kept no notes on my adjustments, and I did have to adjust this for size. My gauge is correct, but I needed to tweak it because the person it's intended for, they wanted a specific size that just had to adjust. And I got it done, realized I had no notes anywhere, none on any devices, none written down. I could not find anything, and I know I had talked about it, I just could not find it. So making the front was going to be damn near impossible, and I didn't want to have to reverse engineer it based off the back piece, so I frogged it and tweaked it to be done in the round, which actually works out better because of that lace. When you get to like the side here, the way you end up decreasing for the arm, the pattern, and I'll link the pattern below, the pattern does not tell you really how to adjust the lace pattern. It just says to like keep in pattern. Well, the way you would decrease and everything, sometimes you're jumping ahead in the pattern like 7 stitches, sometimes you're not, and you don't start and end in the same portion of the repeat. So like this side, working across it, right, one's underarm, you end on the first half of the repeat, so then when you do the front, the other side of the underarm, you pick up on the second half of that repeat. And that would have been fine, like it would not have been tricky. It did require you to pay attention, and I just didn't like that, and I wanted to make sure everything lined up, and so I tweaked it to be in the round, and it's working much better. I have not touched it in a while. I keep putting it in my bag because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna totally work on this, and then I never do. The yarn though is like, oh, chef's kiss. Like, take my firstborn, take my mortgage, like whatever. I will want to use this yarn forever and ever. It's just so nice, and it blocks beautifully. The colors haven't been bleeding, and blues are kind of tricky like that, so you know, that's always a possibility. I think I'll work on that today actually. So yeah, basically all of my projects right now are tops. The lace one, which is, I can't even remember the name of it. It's something like, I don't know, because it's vintage patterns, so it's not going to be named this quite like we name them now, right? Pretty in pleats, and then staple in and top. So I'll link all those down below. I'll link to had a bug. I'll link down to the podcast, the Gauge Yarn store down in Austin. Like seriously, they have beautiful things, and they were all super friendly. And I'm hoping that the next time I have down that direction, I can go with them so I can go and see the person. Alright, this is one more pass. And timing is perfect. I'm gonna wrap this up because she's like inching closer and closer. I'm definitely in their way today. What else was I going to tell you? Oh, if you are not already a member of Knit Chat's Slack group, like, go join. I'll link down below. Yes, this is my work. Yes, I'm gonna plug it, but I have a very good reason, because there's a giveaway going on right now, and for a book on brioche, and it's by like the best of the best when it comes to that. And it's a fabulous book, and all you have to do to be part of it is, I want to see your first project, and I want to see your last project, just so we can see your progress, because that's all fun, right? I came up with the idea after the podcast actually aired, because I was talking about my very first project in there, and it was so bad. I had every single stitch was twisted. My hands hurt, and that was not a difficult project. Like, my hands should not hurt. So I want to see progress. So I'll even link down below to that. I don't normally do that sort of thing because I don't want people to feel like I'm pitching them, right? But everybody wants a free book. Everybody wants to learn a new technique. I know you do, because you're super cool like that, right? Oh, I do have more. Okay, so the last episode I went over my knitting subscription box, right? Okay, so I've gotten a handful more since then. I've gotten a like a planter koozie, I guess you could say. Like, yeah, like, it's kind of cool. I started it, hurts my hands. It's a terrible gauge. There's one that's a pillow, there's a market bag, and the one I just got within this last week is like a plant hanger to like put a tiny potted plant into. I absolutely love that one. I have not started it yet. It is in cotton yarn, which I'm not entirely certain is going to be a good fit for it, but we'll see. So next episode I will actually pull all those out and go over them. I did finish one of the slippers from the very first box I got, and I hate it. It's just awful. It doesn't fit well. Not a fan. And I think I might try it again. Maybe I'll make the second one, because I really want to like it. I actually like how it looks in the picture, but that's not how it looks when it's finished, which is kind of a bummer. So next time I'll go over that, and I'm just gonna wrap this up right now. I'm just gonna end it because I'm in these people's way and no one wants to hear mine. So short episode, prattly, outside noise, but it is what it is. I hope you'll come join me over on my work Slack. I should probably not word it like that. I hope you'll come join me over on Slack. And I hope you'll listen to the podcast and then tell me I'm not as nerdy as I think I am, or, sound as awkward as I think I do. But it is a good one. Totally bingeable too. Like, her seasons are not like super incredibly long, and each person is so interesting. She's talked to a wide range of people. I absolutely love it. Yeah, it's a good one. And talking to her is like so fabulous. Her accent is great, and she's just a pleasant person to talk to. So, okay, I'm done. I keep saying I'm done. I'm actually done this time. I hope you all have a good day. I hope you're knitting something. I hope the weather is good where you're at, and that you can get outside and enjoy some sunshine without cooking. And yeah, we'll see you again here soonish. Hopefully sooner than the time between this one and the previous one. So yeah, have a good day.